Let me fire off an invite to Professor Firestone. Then we will be ready to roll. Just finishing up a couple of things that I will be with you promptly, but shortly. Okay. Link sent. Okay. I'm just in the process of updating. I'll do it over here. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Updating everything, and then we will be rolling. Got all my sources going today, I think. We're waiting on so much news. Yes. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up, man?
So, I mean, personally, I think we're waiting on a whole bunch of starting lineups, right?
Yeah, we are. The Brooklyn one obviously being the most important. And I mean, just to give you my take with it, the sharp on DraftKings is a hard thing to avoid. But I will play Blake and or James Johnson on FanDuel.
That's interesting.
That's a big. So I'm just saying that I do like Sharp. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's 3,300. What are you going to say about him? But Blake Griffin's an interesting pivot at what should be significantly lower ownership. And it doesn't matter to me whether Blake starts or not, because as long as he's active, I'm assuming he's playing. And the good thing about this is he can actually do a few things offensively that maybe Sharp can't. They could use him that way. Same thing with James Johnson. Not a whole lot of shot creators without these guys there in Brooklyn. And I mean, really, like, the truth is, I'm not playing outside of Giannis on FanDuel. I don't think I'm playing anybody in the first game. So I'm just sort of skipping it and I guess waiting my time, biding my time.
That's what I was kind of getting at. What about the Kessler Edwards?
Yeah. Assuming he starts again, I would definitely play him, and I'm probably going to play him anyway.
Yeah.
But Bembry, Edwards, I give Edwards the edge over Bembry, but I think it's, you can make an argument for Bembry for sure. I like the James Johnson idea to get a little bit off the chalkier stuff. I think that Cam Thomas has a chance to have a game, and they still have a lot of guys. And then you might see the weird Bruce Brown out of the blue for them starting. So it really does depend on who's starting somewhat for them, for me. But the thing is, they have bodies. It's not like they don't have anybody. Millsap might even be in there to take a few minutes from the guys I mentioned. If they really wanted to get a full-on break, you'd think that this would be a night where you could rest Blake on a back-to-back or just go for all of it. But the way I've got it ranked is Edwards, Sharp, Edwards, probably Bembry, then Blake on DraftKings. Harden, I will have in every lineup that I play tonight. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really come up with a reason to not play him. If you want to know the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tricky, right? Like, I mean, you could the point guard is strong because you're going to have Dennis Smith as the obvious chalk, and then if you're playing Harden, these ownerships on other point guards, I'm not necessarily buying into that anybody's going to place that. I mean, I don't think many people are going to play Steph, for example. I don't think anybody's really going to play. Who's the other point guard I had eligible? I don't think that. Let me see where I have Ja owned. Like, if Ja's really owned 20% and Steph's owned 15%, then we're just going to assume Harden's only going to be 60% on this slate instead of being
100,
85 or 90.
Yeah.
And you can play Harden with Jokic, but again, you have some of those, depending on how you feel about the Sharp Griffin thing, maybe you could pivot to James Johnson and Kessler Edwards or something, but you run into centers and you're using a point guard in your utility spot for the most part. So that's where I'm you're using a point guard or a center in your utility spot. I've come much lower down on this situation on the Portland because of this. Also, the spread has dropped. I mean, sorry, the point total has dropped in that game. By the way, before we keep going, how about the General? A nice day for the General.
Yes. Yeah, but don't get all excited. All these guys are starting also, so who knows?
Hey, well, he's 7. Hey, I'll take 7 under no matter what
yes,
for day one.
Absolutely.
And he's 5% owned, and I have him almost 50%. So
absolutely,
it feels good to have him rather than not have him. It's weird. The one thing that the guy who kept popping in my mind, but I didn't want to ever actually suggest him because I wasn't going to play him, was Jim Furyk, actually, because it just made sense. Like, you have a good golfer who doesn't play well because the courses are longer now, and
right.
just didn't really go all the way through. But obviously it's early.
Right.
But that was kind of a fun start, and off to a really good start. And without most of my guys, I've got 3 guys playing, and I'm in like the top 20 in one of the tournaments. But they're 7, 6, and 6, so they had a pretty good first day. Anyway, so this just feels like a pretty straightforward slate if we get the starting lineup from Brooklyn. But like I said, you can take these other pivots as pivots off those super chalky guys. And I am going to force in a Ja, and I'm going to force in. I still am deciding which one of the Minnesota guys I want to play. I think I'm leaning Edwards right now as my favorite, especially because of the forward eligibility. I also do like. Look, I know it's not in Portland, and it takes away the narrative and all that stuff, but it's the same thing. I mean, look. Everybody who thinks we're full of it, look at both Morris brothers average, I think they average 7 points higher for their career, something crazy like that, which is an incredible average over, a number of years versus Phoenix than they do against any other team. Will Barton is like that with Denver. Really? I'm sorry, with Portland, because they never really gave him a chance there. And he'd be this guy off the bench, and he'd score, come in and score 20 real life points in a half of the game, and then he wouldn't barely get run in the second half, and it just frustrated him. So I sort of like Will Barton as not an off the board totally, but a play. Yeah.
Do you want to run back any of the Brooklyn guys with some OKC stuff or no?
Yeah, I do. I like Dort in order. I like assuming this game feels like it could be close now. I like Giddey, Dort, Shea on FanDuel, on DraftKings, and on FanDuel I like Shea, Dort, then Giddey. Bazley is a hit or miss. You can take a shot with him. He didn't start the last game. He hasn't started a lot of these games this year, and they sort of mix up their starting rotation all the time. But in his minutes, have a high range of outcomes. But you could definitely consider Bazley as part of that, or Robinson Earl. But I don't know that I really want to go crazy with that.
Not that I care too much, but do you know these guys that are out for Brooklyn? Is that for COVID protocols?
Wait. I think it was rest. It was different things for each of them.
Okay.
It's back to back. Brooklyn's not going to play guys on back to back. They don't. You can't mess with the Achilles thing even a while after with KD. So it sort of makes sense. And it's OKC. It's the best chance you have to win a game. And they don't really care about winning games. That's the truth. I mean, think about it, Sheets. What do they have to play for? They're going to be in the playoffs in general. They really have nothing to play for. Try and gel as a team. And honestly, they're better off playing road games in playoffs. And if you want to count Kyrie and I do think Kyrie makes them a lot better. So if you're going to factor the fact that Kyrie's playing, he can't play at home games anyway. So what's the home court advantage exactly? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to see the ton of this from Brooklyn throughout the year. The only thing that may change it a little bit is KD's MVP run, but we'll see where that goes. I think it actually does matter to a guy like him. So he'll probably end up, later on in the season playing more. Anyway, what was the question? I'm trying to understand this question. I don't know what he's talking about, what you're talking about. What has me favoring Edwards over Cam? What Cam? Am I missing someone? I don't know what that means. Brian, please let me know what you mean, bud. I just have no idea who are you? Do you mean Cat?
That could be.
That'd be a double misspell on Cat, and it's not a favoring over Cat. I mean, it's a position, totally different position and different price. It's not like they're the same play. I think Cat's fine. I like all three of those guys. I just don't. Well, Cat also has by far the worst matchup of every one of them, assuming that Steven Adams plays, which again we don't even have confirmation of.
Steven Adams?
Yeah, at least I don't.
No.
It's no picnic playing against Steven Adams. I promise you that. Not Cam Thomas. Nobody's deciding between Cam Thomas. If you're deciding between Cam Thomas and Edwards, you're doing something wrong, because this is not a slate where you should leave 4,000 on the table.
No.
Kessler, Edwards. Oh, I thought he meant Anthony Edwards, because that's what my bad.
So you meant Kessler versus Cam Thomas.
Oh, well, Kessler Edwards starts. Cam Thomas's minutes are in flux, and the last time we were in the situation, remember, everybody played Cam Thomas, and Cam Thomas was 90% owned. Literally, the 90+% owned. I think he had like 4 fantasy points. Kessler Edwards, I believe, had 45, and Duke had, I think, 38. So I think Kessler Edwards they like a lot. They give him run even with their good team. He's on like he gets stretches with their good team. He can really shoot it, and I think he's cheaper. He has forward eligibility, and I feel more secure about his minutes. I guess that would be the next question. But I do like Cam Thomas, so I'm not going to say Cam Thomas is a bad play. I think Cam Thomas could definitely have a game. Oddly, though, with Cam Thomas, they've actually played him like not with Kyrie, but with KD and Harden. He's played better than he has without one of KD or Harden out, especially, well, it's been KD, I guess. But yeah, that's I do like Cam Thomas as well, but he's also 700 more shooting guard. You're not playing him at point guard. That would be a mistake. Yeah. So
I like the James Johnson play.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that could get something done. And again, they have bodies. You know what I mean? What they need is offense. Kessler Edwards, Cam Thomas, James Harden, Blake Griffin, James Johnson. Like those guys actually can sort of do some things offensively. Like whereas Bembry, who's sort of just reliant. I mean, I actually like Bembry's game. He's a good guy to have on your team, but you have no idea whether he's going to go out there and even want to shoot the ball. The guy, I mean, what is the most shots he's taken in a game this season? 8, 7?
Right.
He just doesn't really want to shoot the ball. But Kessler Edwards will shoot it, given the opportunity, and so will Cam Thomas.
And don't forget, who else will shoot it given the opportunity is James Harden.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, actually, he'll probably in this game end up with like 20 points and like 20 assists or something.
Yeah, that's true. What's the spread in that game now?
5.
Okay. I feel that spread is off by 5 points, but I don't know which way.
I feel like Brooklyn should be a bigger favorite, to be honest. They've won plenty of games this year like this. No, bro, Brian, you're good, but that actually made sense. Dunbar, thanks for clearing it up, because I could not understand the thing. So because I was like Edwards, I was just talking about Anthony Edwards. So Kessler, I didn't even think about it. Yes, I can rank the Nets guys on FanDuel. So the way that I'm treating them, and this is for tournaments. This is not like who I expect. And when I do my rankings, when I come from everything I'm doing is coming from a tournament standpoint. Now I will drop in if you want to say the safer or the cat. Those would be the more the cashy plays. So like, yeah, is Sharp probably a better play than Blake Griffin and Cam and James Johnson? Probably. Am I going to get way less ownership on James Johnson and Blake Griffin? Yes. So and they're also cheaper. So that's what I'm doing. I actually am playing both of them together in a lineup, which gulp, but it allowed me to get in everything I wanted over there. So I guess that's my answer to that question. And the other problem you run into, so that's the other thing with Cam Thomas. Okay, so here's another part of the problem if you're going to play Cam Thomas. I'm okay with playing Cam Thomas over Ben McLemore, But again, you get into the position eligibility again because Ben McLemore now is getting overlooked and is going to play over 30 minutes. And that's a guy who, if he makes a few threes, he might make 8. He's got that upside to him. Probably has to shoot it well to get there. And earlier in the day, I was okay with the fade because that was the way you could get different. But you don't need to do that now. Like Cam Thomas is probably going to be higher owned. Is that right? No, he's going to be close to the same ownership. And close to the same ownership, I definitely think that McLemore has a better argument to be made. So that's why Kessler Edwards also fits in better.
Cam Thomas is a guard, right?
What's that, Chiefs?
Cam Thomas is a guard, right?
Yeah, only point and shooting guard. So on FanDuel, I would go Harden 1. Sharp would be the logical 2, but I actually am playing the other 2 I mentioned. And then Kessler Edwards would be logical 2, in my opinion. Sharp is going to be actually probably even more popular, but I would go somewhere in that range. But it's hard to know without the starting lineup. So that everything I said is more than a subject to change. It probably will change. Patrick Beverley no longer on a minutes restriction. Okay. Doesn't really mean
Portland's not till 10. Brooklyn's at 8:30.
Yep. Got in some guys I liked early in the slate, early in the day. I no longer am finding myself drawn to. Like I still like Batum here.
Yeah, I like a little of that.
He's probably my favorite.
You like Batum more? How about this? I'll give you a 1v1. What do you think, Batum or Bazley?
For me, it's Batum by a lot. Okay. The only problem is you get a little bit of the Bazley run back. I kind of understand it. Now, again, that's factoring in all kinds of things. Not necessarily ownership percentage, but one, he's 200 cheaper. He has multiple position eligibility where Bazley's just power forward. He's also, I don't even know for sure that like if Bazley starts, then maybe that would change things. But I don't know why they would do that. I mean, just because he got in foul trouble in one game with in Batum's case, I just feel like he could have like a 30+ game here. I guess I have Batum ahead of Bazley, but I think that it's close. It's closer than I probably should have. I probably should have said it was closer than I did. But all these Portland guys, go ahead. They're going to be owned, but they're going to be much less owned.
Let's say neither of them start. Who do you like more between Bembry and James Johnson?
Bembry and James Johnson. I like Bembry better, but I think that he'll also be significantly more owned. But I do like him better, and he's 500 more. James Johnson is a little bit of a hopeful play. You know what I mean? It's not like he doesn't have to get a ton of run. He doesn't have to do much while he's out there, but there's a chance that, I just think he ends up as the low owned guy in the bunch, and he could easily play as many minutes as these other guys.
We're kind of done with, or not done with, but like you were saying, these Portland guys are not quite as sexy as they were, like the Nasir Littles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I still kind of like Little, but I'm not playing as much of it outside of a mini stack. There's another question. Yeah, Edwards is definitely ahead of Cam Thomas for sure, but that's a lot to do with the reasons I explained. Sorry, just reading through the questions. Any Portis on FanDuel from K9 Bronco? I started off with Portis and I ended up with no Portis, but I'm not playing much on FanDuel. He's in my $5. He's in one of my $5 lineups because I didn't make the middle one in the 555. I'm not playing him. But that's just so I could play Harden, Shea, and Jokic and Giannis. So I really went dumpster diving. All right, let's see. I don't want to speculate on who's starting. Dunbar, it's silly for us to just sit here and go, well, what if Duke starts? What if this? Yeah, if Duke starts, then he's in play. But we don't have any idea who's going to start. So I don't want to guess it. It's just pointless conversation that doesn't lead to anything because we don't know who's starting,
Right.
Somebody answer MJ's question because MJ's a good guy too. And he's having trouble with DK on his desktop. I've had troubles in the past, so I'm very sympathetic, but I'm not having any
No,
trouble today.
I'm actually okay with the. I'm doing okay with the DraftKings on my desktop right now. It's something on your end.
Okay.
So yeah, so definitely want to not you definitely want to backload as much as you can because you want to know the starters.
Yep. As you mentioned that, I just realized I had one lineup with Ja in the later spot instead of. By the way, I still like Bane a lot today too. We haven't really talked about him.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I like Ja and Bane, and I think that you can get a little mini stack with that game and play Anthony Edwards, play any one of the other guys we talked about earlier. Where is Watford standing for you now, Sheets? Is he even on the other?
I don't even have him on my board. I don't think
he's not even on the board, huh? Yeah. What happened? What happened? Did he? Because he should at least show up. Let me just see real quick. Wow, his minute. Nobody else came back. I don't understand. His minute projection went from like I had him at 24 earlier this morning, and now I've got him at 12. But nobody came back. I think it was just a bad minutes projection. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think that I think Blake Griffin is probably the route I would end up going instead of him or Sharp. I mean, obviously, I already mentioned how I like Sharp. Or
Dort. Dennis Smith. Cat. Yeah. What did you say? Do you have any cat or no?
No. I'm not playing a ton of lineups, and I actually haven't decided what I'm doing until I see that starting lineup.
Right.
But my main, the spend ups. Look, Harden. I'm not fading him. I do like Will Barton as a mid tier play. I like Edwards. I don't think he's gonna be very owned. I like Edwards, Russell, and Cat. I just didn't get there. I might even end up with a little bit of Cat by the end of the night, but I don't think I will. I don't have it right now. I still do like Nurkic enough. But I'd want to run something back in my Nurkic, Smith, and any, maybe Nas Little would be the other guy you'd consider there. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be doing some changes throughout the course of the night. So it's for 14. I'm going to look at FanDuel in a second. Just finish my DraftKings, at least my initial DraftKings.
Yeah.
Builds.
Adam says, does it make sense? But is it reasonable to guess Brooklyn gives more run? We just talked about all that, so maybe I don't know if you're coming in now, but yeah, of course it's reasonable with all. I mean, they're missing 4 guys, even though they still have other bodies they can use. There's definitely a chance, but James Johnson hasn't been playing many minutes. Blake Griffin didn't play that many minutes yesterday. It wouldn't shock me if they all of a sudden sat Blake. But if they're in a competitive game, it's just a matter of who they want out there. So I guess to answer the question, yes, it's reasonable to think they might get more run.
Emery, Sharp, Smith, Bazley, Nurkic, Morant, Harden, Giannis. Nothing's particularly earth-shattering. Yeah, the guys that I'm having difficulty fading are, for now at least, are Harden, Smith, and Sharp. But again, like if Sharp's not starting, I don't have to play him.
Tell you what, even if he is starting, I'm definitely going to mix in the other guys.
Yeah. So you wouldn't do 100 of him even if you're starting.
On DraftKings it makes more sense, but just take that other
That's what I'm
shot.
looking at. Right.
Guys, pop in any more questions because I'm going to be out of here in a little bit. I can't do the late subbing thing. It's cost me too much, and even yesterday I felt like I was scrambling so much, and I don't know. In some ways, I almost wish maybe it would have been better if I just stayed on the show. Might have helped me out actually.
Yeah, so let me just see what my DraftKings builds look like now, and then I'm going to go into FanDuel. If you have to leave, you have to leave. I'm good for a while.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of ridiculous, right? Because I don't know who's playing.
Right. It feels like we're waiting for stuff. Yeah.
But I am playing a couple lineups, by the way, as I mentioned, with Curry and Giannis, and fading Harden just for max pain. You know, it's always good when you have a good score, but then you have to fade Harden in the late game. That usually works out.
Yeah. The question about Curry on FanDuel, I don't personally like. Everybody sees the price gap and they think that it's a big edge. I just don't agree with people.
Say that again.
People see the price like they're like, oh, Steph makes sense on FanDuel because he's $800 cheaper, and I'm like, yeah,
well,
but
it's relative to everybody else. Everybody else has that. I mean,
no, it's not. That's not what I was gonna say. It's There's no 3-point bonus. There's no double bonus. There's turnover things. So all of these guys are not as good at plays as they seem like they are. Like for example, like the last time out, Steph scored 62 on draft, 62 and a half on DraftKings, 57 on FanDuel, which is a good game, but it's not the same. You know, it's not great for 10. I mean, it's not like amazing for 10-4. And Harden has that issue too. The turnovers matter over there. You know, you lose a full point and you don't get as much, you know, and if you're not a high steal, high block guy, you're not gonna be as valuable. I do like Giddey to answer that question, MJ. All right. I just told Roddy.
Harden and Dennis Smith, and once again, I'm having a difficult time fading Portis on FanDuel.
I'm not, but yeah, I hear you. I liked Portis initially. I just I decided to spend down in power forward.
Let's see.
He certainly does make sense. He's going to be very popular.
By the way, did you follow? We didn't even talk about it. Did you follow that Draymond Green under thing from the weekend, or
what was that?
Oh, you didn't even see?
No.
So you got to see the video. So Draymond Green, he was hurt the day that Klay Thompson came back, but he wanted to, you know, he couldn't play. He wanted to honor him, whatever his return. So he was starting, but he announced, and everybody knew, and the Cavs knew that he was going to be in there just for the jump ball, and then like foul and then come out of the game. Apparently, Sham or one of the Twitter guys released this information like 5 minutes before the game was starting, and the entire betting universe just pounded all the unders on Draymond Green, and like alt bets, whatever, like hundreds of thousands of dollars cash. And this is exactly what happened. He took the jump ball, he went and fouled the guy, and then he came out of the game. And there was controversy about whether the bookies were even going to pay.
That's they can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know what the
be sharp. Make a sharper line. Have that in. Understand that they should know that.
Not only that, but I mean, like, you know, the rules are the rules. He had a stat. He was in the game. You know.
Yeah. If any site that wouldn't pay out for that, I would never ever touch again, and I would blast them all over Twitter if I was anybody else.
Well, I think that's what's happening. I think that
don't ever play on that site again. All right. The question about last question from MJ, or was that from MJ? Oh, Marcus Morris. It's fine. I don't have any reason I feel like I need to play Marcus Morris on this slate. It's a good matchup. It's sure he could hit a game, but like there's just as many 25s as there are 40s for him. And 40 is not all that special. So why aren't we just playing Bobby Portis and hoping for more? I'm not ending up in that price range at all. So I'm not playing him, but I don't think it's the worst play. Steven Adams is out. Ooh, okay. I do think that makes Jaren Jackson more in play. I mean, look, there's always the foul stuff with him, but his rebound rate and his overall numbers without Adams are really good with Adams off the court. So probably hurts Ja a little bit, probably hurts Bane a little bit, but not a ton. And Brandon Clarke is at a high price now, but I don't think it's a bad idea to take a shot on Brandon Clarke. There's a really low owned play. Well, maybe it won't be that low owned anymore. He's 5,200, but 2 out of the last 3 games in this. I mean, look, he put up 48 and 32 and 23. If Brandon Clarke plays minutes, and this is a great matchup, like he's gonna be a good play, and I don't think there's any reason they necessarily have to start him either. So I do like Triple J though a little better. All of these guys get a boost, except for Bane and Morant, because having a no usage guy for guys that don't rely on rebounds, but for Jackson the rebound rate, Kyle Anderson the rebound rate, everybody at Brandon Clarke obviously will get more minutes. Bucks starting lineup is out. Nothing special there. I think that's pretty much all I got for now.
You're giving Giannis the start?
Great question, but yeah, what's that?
They're giving Giannis the start?
Yeah, they're not going to bring him off the bench. This is a good question by Dunbar. So I want to like Barton versus Dort, and my best answer is how does the rest of your lineup look? If you've got 3 guys from Portland, play Barton. If you've got 3 guys or 4 guys from Brooklyn or 3 guys from Brooklyn and nobody from Portland hardly, play Dort. That's the way I would answer it. Sheets, how do you have those guys ranked?
Dort, Barton, or who?
Dort versus Barton.
I'll go with your narrative on this one. I'll take Barton.
Yeah, I think it depends on the rest of the lineup is what I would say for this one. So
yeah, but I mean, we're just spitballing.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I have 2 big lineups on DraftKings, and one of them is in each. So
there you go.
There you go.
Let me run my Yahoos and see what this looks like.
Just make sure that's not in your utility. You should be playing a center or point guard in your utility spot, in my opinion, today. All right, guys. Hey, good luck to everybody tonight. Let's do better than last night. I'll be in the Discord channel all night. Well, until the game start or whatever. I want to give a shout out to our friend Kenny Hyder. It's his birthday today.
Hey, got him.
He's a part of our True DFS team on the back end side of it. And yeah, so good luck to everybody. Sheets, have a great night, and I'll see you guys later.
Yep. So I'm gonna pop a Yahoo build here. Show you guys what I have here if anybody's playing over there. So I'll if there's any particular standouts over there. Maybe you want to hop over and I'm glad I didn't play Sanjay M. That's good news. Ooh. Nah, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same guys. Smith, Sharp, Harden, Nurkic. Nothing really special over there. And I know it's going to come down to how you late swap after they announce the starters and stuff. And I use SaberSim, or you could use the other one. The Fantasy Cruncher is good for the late swaps too. If you play multiple lineups, if you do single lineups, then then it's pretty easy. We just upload my FanDuels. I mean my Yahoos. And then I'll get some questions, and then I'll get out of here. I had a good day of tennis yesterday, actually. A very, very nice day of tennis, as a matter of fact. Like second in both tournaments that are of consequence, which which was good. And I might have gotten first if Andy Murray was allowed to finish his match. He was up like 6-2 and then 2-0 or something, and then the guy quit. That happens sometimes. Yeah, I think that Gumbar. I think that that Jaren Jackson Jr. and all of that stuff merits some kind of okay. Do you offer your info on your guys' site of tennis and MMA? Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, the MMA stuff more so than the tennis. The tennis, I just put the projections up, but I'll tell you if I'm gonna Timothy, how am I doing? LOL, is that a joke? Dude, first freaking slate back, I won everything. I won all the cheese. First slate back in LOL like a couple days ago. So freaking pumped. But Griff, Vandy, what we do, I put the tennis projections up. But what's really cool is we have a couple of guys that in our Discord that post some good information on there. So if you get into the Discord in tennis from time to time, you'll see like Drainage and a couple of guys and Kev10 that honestly know more about tennis than I do. That gives some qualitative takes to go along with my quantitative research. And I think you can build some good lineups with the info that we have there. I mean, honestly, I could do a tennis video, but it's just stupid. I mean, I don't know enough to do it. But hopefully we have the guy from Big Data Tennis. He was a tremendous interview the other day. If you check out our YouTube channel, about that, and if we can get him to start giving some content there, that'd be insane. But with respect to MMA, yeah, I mean, I do a video every week with MMA. I do put projections up, but I do a breakdown every week. Hopefully, I was kind of waiting. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. This coming weekend's kind of a ridiculous slate. Like they lost like 4 fights or 10 fights, and 2 of them were basically locks. They had 2 replacement fighters, and so what you're getting is a $7,100 fighter in both fights. That's like a 2.5 to 1 favorite. It's just kind of ridiculous. So it's not the greatest slate in the world to play, but yeah, no, I mean, I love the other sports. I know it's sacrilege saying that I like them more than basketball, but I kind of do. I don't know what to tell you. It's definitely less stressful than NBA, where they get you guys ruled out. I mean, tennis, you get guys ruled out, but you know what? You're locked out anyway. It's whatever. An LOL every once in a while, but LOL is a great sweat, man. Yeah, that's what Adam's referring to. What I was saying. Yeah, these guys are pretty good. And as I mentioned, it's not just all about the projections and all about the numbers. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm in with my hockeys tonight. You guys grew for Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh. Who's the top guy? I got Boston, my main stack over there. And man, I guess I have to come back after starters and see what's going on. But that's all I got for now. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch up to you.